Hello and welcome to Catamount Community Connection. I'm your host, Brian Collamore, and host the one-hour show each and every Sunday here on Catamount Radio. And the goal of the program to inform and make our listeners aware of things that are going on not just in Rutland County, but throughout the state. Things that will affect everyone listening in some cases. And our show brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. We've been talking about it, folks, for a long time, but now this is going to air on the 27th of July. So the fair is 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday, August 12th, and it runs through the 16th. And joining us today on the first part of the program is Robert Congdon, who is the fair president and also president of the entire fair system, if you will, in the state of Vermont. And Robert, it's always good to see you. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Brian, and thank you to, I guess we'll start right off by thanking all the listeners out there who support us year in and year out and hopefully are as excited and looking forward to this year's fair as we are.
Yeah. I was down the second week of this month in July for the Rave Car Show, which was well attended, I thought, and they did a great job. They're running into, I think, the sort of phenomenon that a lot of organizations are, where there's a lot of older folks in the club and they're trying their best to get the new kid, the younger generation to come in. But there's also more car shows than there've ever been before. So, back when we started that, it was 1978, because I can remember it, it was like the only show. And they were, some years we had 400 or 500 vehicles on display. So anyway, it was a great show. Rave did a super job and made a very nice contribution to the Christmas fund. So I want to thank them. So the fairgrounds has been pretty busy. And hopefully in 2 weeks from Tuesday, the first day of the fair on August 12th, we will have continued summer-like weather. And we want to keep all the rain clouds away. If it's got to rain, let it be at night and during the day so folks can get down as we get prepared for 128th or 29th or 78th?
179.
179.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing to think. Long-time tradition for sure.
Yeah. So we had you on about a month ago, but I'm sure folks didn't remember every last thing we talked about. So let's just talk generally about some of the new things that people will see this year at the Vermont State Fair. And we'll talk about Oliver Anthony, who will be the headliner in terms of the entertainment. But there's some other new things coming too, right?
Yeah, well, I guess we can start off just simply by talking about that Diamonds and More Grandstand lineup. So opening night, Tuesday the 12th, we'll be starting everything off with a Pond Hill Pro Rodeo. So that'll be a great event, has been for many years now. So that'll be what folks can catch that night. On Wednesday night, we're going to be looking at a kind of a return to the fairgrounds. The Northeast Sled Services are going to be doing tractor pulls. Now, this is more geared towards your antique tractors, your farm tractors. So it's not necessarily those big souped-up ones that everybody are used to, but they've got a great following for folks who maybe have been over Tunbridge Way. It's the same company that does Tunbridge. So there's just a lot of folks that come out and participate for that. That's a free grandstand as well. So that's going to be, you pay your admission at the gate and you can check that out all evening long. You can come and go as they're pulling and watch that. So that's going to be a great event. Thursday night, of course, everybody looks forward to the Demolition Derby, and you can't miss the Demolition Derby. So the Demolition Derby will be kicking off that night with DNA Motorsports, and they do a great job. Should have also done a mention, Northeast Sled Services tractor pulls brought to us by Initial Ideas. Great friends over there, and they've helped sponsor that show this year, so that's awesome. So again, Thursday, DNA Motorsports. Friday, Carrera Services and ProCycle, two local companies, are helping us to bring the RPM Promotions flat track motorcycle racing back, which, again, I haven't made any secret about. My goal was to get that track used again, and they used the whole track, the half mile. It's actually the Vermont State Fair half mile race, and it's going to be under the lights on Friday night, which is again, a great sight to see the track all lit up and to see that happening. And then, as you mentioned before, Paramount Theater, in conjunction with the Vermont State Fair, bringing Oliver Anthony, who just dropped, I think this is like his 19th or 20th #1 hit just last week or 2 weeks ago. And we can't wait. The tickets are going fast for that. And it's going to be a great night to wrap things all up with Oliver Anthony on the stage.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how ticket sales are going. By the way, folks, you can go to ParamountVT.org and buy your tickets for the Oliver Anthony concert. But hopefully they're getting scarce.
They were moving fast. So definitely, by the time this airs, I'm not sure where we will be at. But, ticket sales are doing really well. So definitely, as we get closer, I'm expecting things to get tight. So folks are going to want to jump on there and definitely get them while they can.
And that's 7 o'clock?
That's an 8 o'clock show. 8 o'clock show for that. And the other thing to mention, and it will still be going on while this is airing, is when you go to ParamountVT.org and buy any of those tickets, whether you're buying Rodeo, Demolition Derby, Flat Track Motorcycle, or Oliver Anthony, up until August 11th, so the day before the fair opens, when you purchase a ticket, you are getting your fair admission included. So you're not going to have to pay an extra admission at the gate. You're going to show either on your phone or a printout of that Paramount ticket to get in the grounds at no additional charge. So you're buying that with your show ticket in the lead up.
We're talking to Robert Congdon, who's president of the Vermont State Fair, which again is coming up 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday, August 12th through the 16th. And Robert is also president of the Fair Association, which runs all the other fairs around the state. Traditionally, once upon a time anyway, the Vermont State Fair was always around Labor Day, but the date was moved back into August. But there are certainly other fairs. The field days up in Addison County, Champlain Valley Fair, Tunbridge Fairs, as Robert mentioned earlier, are all going on. And we hope for good weather and good attendance for all of our agricultural fairs. Let's talk about what's going on in the Midway this year. Any new events, rides, phenomenon?
So we've got a lot of roaming acts and new to us grounds acts that are going to be interspersed around the fairgrounds. So we're looking at Turbo the Tractor is going to be on the fairgrounds. He is a roaming act. It's a remote-controlled tractor that interacts with kids. It kind of talks to them, and I think some ag-type questions and things that he prompts. So that's a new, actually, to the circuit. We're picking it up, and it just dropped as a grounds act about a month and a half ago. He just started going on the circuit, and it's a part of kind of the conglomerate that we have Pirate Man Dan, and a lot of the fairgrounds have Pirate Man Dan down, who's really popular. It's actually his latest act that he just debuted. And then Pirate Man Dan's wife, who does the Moving Mermaid, she's got an electric motorized shell that she drives around the fairgrounds in, and I know lots of kiddos love her as well, and she is going to be with us this year for the first time here in Rutland as well. So those are two new ones. We also have the Shark Encounter and the Stingray Encounter. Those are going to be two different acts that are going to be, they do shows throughout the day and explain about the sharks, explain about the stingrays, and have like the pools and stuff that they can view them and come up close. So I think that's going to be really popular for the public as well. And we also have AgriGolf, which is going to be a free miniature golf setup that you get like trivia questions. That's why they call it AgriGolf. You get agricultural trivia questions as you're playing the golf. The holes in the course. And that, again, is going to be another included in admission. All of those are included in admission when it comes to that. As far as our Midway this year, brought to us again by the great company Amusements of America, who also brings in with them when they're here Miller Amusements. So we actually have two amusement companies that come together and put on a great great midway for us. The favorites that we look for people always to be here, as well as a few of the spectaculars. I know the drop tower seems to be popular every year. That's here.
Oh yeah.
I haven't gotten my list, yet this year. They tend to kind of surprise. Try to keep some things a surprise until they get set up. But we've got a great group coming together to start setting up that midway, and two great companies. Great family companies that come together to put on our midway. Touch a Truck will be back. That's been really popular. All the local trucks that come in and put that on. Of course, the Vermont State Fair Butterfly exhibit actually got an upgrade this year. Another thank you to Ivan and Sally of Diamonds and More. They bought a whole new enclosure that actually, while we're talking, is getting assembled, and is a great setup for the butterfly experience to kind of step up this year. So the butterfly encounter will be set up again. Chainsaw wood carvers, antique motor displays, of course, antique tractors galore. Another new one this year is going to be in the upstairs of the 4-H building. We have designated half of that to start the process of bringing back a fish and game display.
Oh, good.
And one of the first things that's going to be when they get to the top of the stairs is an observation beehive is going to be installed up there that folks can be checking out and seeing the bees working, coming and going, doing that. We are also doing taxidermy display in that area. So, and we are still accepting, call it donations for the week, putting taxidermy on loan for the week. So they could reach out to the office if there's anybody that's got a great head mount or something that they want to put on display. They could reach out to the fair office for that, because we're still accepting those to fill out that area. Goodness, I'm running out of breath, Brian. What else?
I'm assuming that the agricultural side is still going to be going on, and also the dairy and maple.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, all of those, the standing exhibits and all of those stands that everybody looks forward to, whether it be the maple or the dairy bar or the, all of the standard food stands like MSJ, TIFFs, all of our normal stands, the Blue Ribbon Eatery, all of those are going to be there as we normally have. And of course, we don't want to forget the racing pigs. They'll be there. Can't forget the racing pigs. So they'll be here as well. We do continue to wish Wayne Rosaire the best. He has had some health things going on, so we had to get a stand-in for this year. And hopefully Wayne will be back next year. But we've got another great company that will be with us this year doing the racing pigs.
And plenty of vendors inside. I think you still call it the President's Building. At least I do.
Yep.
I know some of the other buildings have new names, sort of. And that I really enjoy going, because there's a display of the former presidents of Ag Society and the old days at the fair, and pictures, and it's really I enjoy that kind of thing. And then you walk down the aisles there and see different people that are trying to get you to come in and buy different things, and it's always exciting. And then obviously if people get really thirsty, there's a place to go for some liquid libation as well.
Absolutely. Moose's Pub under the grandstand will definitely be open. One of the things that I want to note too about the President's Building is we have had a growth in the last several years with veteran outreach and active military personnel outreach, tributes, things like that. And that in the President's Building has really grown. So they will be in that area again near the antique tractors, as well as we're in the final planning stages for our local National Guard to have a big display this year as well, up in that area where the duck diving dogs were. Duck diving dogs are taking a year off this year.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it was a great following. It's been a great event. Unfortunately, this year the struggle actually was tracking down a company that was available with their full setup, the docks and the pool and different things like that. And there were some complications that came into that. So we're working on it actively for next year and what that looks like. But for this year, again, they're taking a year off. And we're putting some other entertainment up there. And again, the National Guard is going to have a great display up there, and interactive as well for children to interact with them. So that's all excellent. And then the other thing too, that's been a great revival, I guess, on the fairgrounds is Rutland City Band. We in Rutland have the pride of having the longest standing, I think, city band like in the country. I believe.
I believe you're right.
And they came back to the fair. I think it was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and we look forward to them every year. And this year's no different. And they'll be in the President's Building actually this year. In that front section of the President's Building on Saturday. So they'll be joining us again as well. So lots to do, lots of included entertainment. I tell everybody, if you come down, I always get that question, what is my, depending on the day, 12 or $15, what do I get for that? Well, if you can spend easily a day doing the free entertainment that's included in that ticket. You can easily spend the day going around the fairgrounds, and you're not going to run out of things to do. We also this year, with the sponsors that we've had in the past, we'll be doing the passport program for children again, which is they get a great button ribbon that they get to wear, donated by, of course, Diamonds and More. Yep. And then they get a passport book, and there is a list of places in there that they have to find on the fairgrounds to go around and get stamps. And if they complete the passport booklet and bring it to the guest services window under the grandstand, they get entered for a grand prize. But they also get a little prize right then as well, as long as the supplies last on those. And last year we pulled some season passes for the kids to get, which are actually getting mailed out this week. And then a couple grand prize winners got the family fun pack, which is for a full family, 4 tickets to one of the shows on the grandstand. For this year, it excludes Oliver Anthony, but it's any of the rest of the shows on the grandstand. And then they also get ride tickets to go around and do the rides. So that's something that's available in ticketing at ParamountVT.org, as you mentioned before, but it's also something that they get entered for in that contest. So the passport program was really popular last year. We're hoping to simply just see it grow. We're changing up the stamp locations every year. So if you did a passport last year, you're not going to the same places. You're checking out new places and doing lots of different things around the fairgrounds. And one of the comments I got about that was, it took us to parts of the fairgrounds that either we skipped over that we'd never been to, or we, didn't even know existed. We came down to the fair, but we never knew that part of the fair existed. So that's one of the goals we've had, try and get people into other parts, get them into other places, and just kind of expand their horizon a little bit about what is available and what's there.
We're talking to Robert Congdon, who is the president of the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which runs the Vermont State Fair every year in Rutland. And this will be the 179th, so it was around before the Civil War. And one of the other buildings I love going through is the industrial building, which has its own sort of unique character. And also, on the way over on the other side, all the cows and the animals and tractors and whatnot. And generally, there is another sort of stage over there with other entertainment, right?
Yep. So this year, and that's one I skipped over. So thank you for the reminder.
Sure.
The Grand Illusions by the Blooms, which were actually here a couple years ago, really popular show. They were actually in the President's Building a couple years ago. They are taking up residency on the Sugar House stage for the week and sharing it with actually the magic act of local talent Blaine Goad. So Blaine will be there as well as the Grand Illusions by the Blooms. They also do the roaming dinosaur around the fairgrounds a couple times a day, and they're going to be on the Sugar House stage this year, taking again for the week. You'll be able to take in their show there. It's going to be a little bit better room for them, also a little bit better room for the crowd, because we were kind of cramming people into the President's Building to be able to see them. So that's going to be a great addition to that area as well. And we're excited. We're excited for that. We're also excited for Wednesday being Children's Day. First off, it's a great day for families to come down at a discounted rate because the children come in for free. But also, that's the day of the bike giveaway. So we, last year gave away over 100 bikes. This year, I think we're looking at potentially being up as high as 150 bikes. Wow. That's going to, don't hold me to that, but that's the way it's looking. It's looking like we're going to be well over 100 this year. And we're excited for that. And again, great volunteers, but also donations of countless businesses. I mean, we wouldn't have time to run through all the businesses and the groups that give faithfully every year. We'll buy you 2 bikes, we'll buy you 3 bikes, and that's a great benefit for the kids that come down and get to enter. And as long as there's bikes on the stage, we're going to give them away. So.
Yeah. So again, the fair starts 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday, August 12th. And you can get tickets for pretty much anything that's happening down there at ParamountVT.org, or you can buy a ticket, I guess, at the gates if you so choose. Do we still do Governor's Day? I remember that was a big deal when I first came to Rutland back in the 70s.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and we've worked at that, and I think hopefully next year, while we're celebrating the 250, the 250th of the United States, but also our 180th. Coincides with the 250th. I'm hoping that we can definitely get the governor down here. I know that that's something that has not happened regularly now in a number of years. So hopefully that will happen and we can get him to come on down and enjoy something and take part. The other thing, Brian, you mentioned tickets. Also, the fair office is open daily at this point. So folks can swing into the fair office. There's all the offerings are there as far as the discounted ride tickets are there. We also are selling season passes. So for the folks that come down and want to come down every day of the fair, or multiple days of the fair, a season pass is your best bet. It's the most reasonable. Adult season passes are $35 this year, and children and senior get the same rate. They're getting their season passes for $15. So those are available at the fair office as well. Again, all the show tickets is ParamountVT.org, or on Fridays the Paramount box office is open, and you can go into the Paramount box office and buy any of the grandstand tickets. So
I know Amusements of America also used to do a night where they sell bracelets, and you can go on the ride like all night long kind of thing. So I don't know what nights those are and if they're even still doing it.
Yep. No, we do. We have wristband nights on Wednesday and Thursday. So Children's Day is a wristband day, and then Thursday is wristband day. So those are still happening. Otherwise, you're purchasing, you remember the tickets that you got to go purchase and all that. Also, it's important for us to mention that Thursday is military appreciation. So it's whether you're veteran or active, all you got to do is show ID. It's Military Appreciation Day. We used to just call it Veterans Day, but really it's more than that. We want to appreciate all of our military personnel, past and present. So Military Day, and that's also Senior Day. So anyone over 65 can come down. So military and seniors on Thursday. Again, children on Wednesday. And great spread for everybody. We still treat, you probably remember we used to call it preview night, really, the opening night. We still treat Tuesday night really kind of as a preview because the gates don't open till later. So we open at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, the 12th, and that's $7 night. So that's a discounted admission for opening night. Again, Pond Hill will be on that night, and it's a great night just to come down and get your lay of the land for what's happening for the 5 days, and get your preview and check things out, and be able to participate at that little bit of a discounted rate because of the short hours. So
we hope people take advantage of this. We got about 4 minutes left here. again, Oliver Anthony, 8 o'clock on Saturday night to kind of wrap things up. And hopefully everybody understands who he is by now. As Robert mentioned, he's had a lot of big hits. And he will be on stage here in Rutland on Saturday, the 16th. So you can go on and purchase tickets at ParamountVT.org for that show. And I will tell you, they do go quickly. And the longer you wait, the more likely it is that somebody's going to have to say, I'm sorry, we don't have that many tickets left or whatever. So hopefully people this week, when you're hearing this show, will become aware of that. Not that you have to go to that show, because there's a lot of other things going on at the fair that are just as much fun. But that's always the big deal.
Absolutely.
That's how we wrap things up. Anything else you want to let us know about that's going on down at the fairgrounds coming up the rest of this summer and fall?
Well, I mean, for where we're airing this show, Brian, I guess I would encourage everybody. Our premium book is online, so all of the competitions are there. Everything from culinary to floriculture to art to crafts to, I'm sure I'm going to forget them. We've got a writing competition. We got photography. Maple, of course, accepts entries. All of those entries, antique tractors, all of those are going to be accepting entries right up pretty much until we enter, open. So definitely for folks that maybe are interested in entering something and getting the chance of winning a premium. We pay out a hefty sum in premiums every year, and we would be remiss also to mention the fact that is a thank you to the state of Vermont, who does a stipend fund every year to help the fairs give out premiums to everybody for prizes for those things. So vegetables, you name it. Enter it, grab an entry form, drop it off, and let's see how you do. And that's a part of the tradition and the culture of the fair as well. And it's a certainly major part of our roots as an ag society. That's what really drives us. That's who we are. So certainly would encourage people to check that out on our website, vermontstatefair.org, or swing into the fair office and grab a premium book in person.
What about other events in late August or September, or even into the fall?
Sure. So actually, right a week from when this will air, we have a commercial truck show right before the fair, which is going to be a great event as well, with all the local companies bringing their big commercial trucks down. It's going to be a great family event. So definitely check out the Central Vermont Working Truck Show is what it's called. That's going to be a great time. We also have a fall demolition derby, which will be the first Saturday in October. Columbus Day weekend, we have vintage market days again. The Eurobuilt car show will be in late August. We host 3 car shows at this point, so the Eurobuilt show will be here. And then there's other, of course, ag events as well. And then another major thing that everybody looks forward to is the monster trucks will be back September 13th. That's going to be a big event as well that afternoon as we host the monster truck show again.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you. Again, urge people to get down, whether you are into the sort of midway atmosphere, bringing the kids down, all the rides. I'm sure we'll have merry-go-rounds and the Ferris wheel and the tilt-a-whirl and all the other stuff that's normally there. Or, as many of us now, enjoy the agricultural side maybe a little bit more than we used to. And that's fine. Buy your maple candy at the maple display. And for those of you that, again, want to see Oliver Anthony, get your tickets at ParamountVT.org. And don't wait. As soon as you hear this show, and I know it airs early in the morning on Sundays, but you can always go online and order those tickets. And again, hopefully people get a chance to get to the fair. It's a very solid, important tradition of Vermont and certainly the Rutland County area. And we hope that the weather remains good for you. That's always
what we always hope for.
You never know what's going to happen. And some years it's great, and some years we've battled. I don't think we've ever battled snow that I can remember. But
I think I'd be nervous if we were battling snow in August.
Yeah. Rain occasionally, but again, if we're going to get it, maybe it'll be at night, and that's okay too. So hopefully everything goes well. And thank you very much for coming in and joining us here on Catamount Community Connection.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, coming up next after our break, we're going to talk with 13-year-old Dante Anderson of Rutland, who is going to go over to, I'm trying to see where this is, Malta in March of next year, 2026, to represent the United States in the World Karate Do Alliance World Championships. And we'll get a chance to meet Dante when we come back here on Catamount Community Connection in just a minute. Welcome back to Catamount Community Connection. I'm your host, Brian Collamore. Each and every Sunday, we spend an hour with people from all over the community. And as you just heard with Robert Congdon, the Vermont State Fair is coming up. When this airs on Sunday, the fair will begin 2 weeks from that Tuesday. So August 12th through the 16th. And tickets available online at ParamountVT.org for all of the events, including the Oliver Anthony concert, which will wrap things up on Saturday, the 16th. And again, our show is brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. And the 179th Fair, as I say, is just about 2 weeks away. This coming Tuesday, it'll be in 2 weeks. So get down to the fair and enjoy yourself. We're going to go to a different kind of guest right now. And I want to welcome in 13-year-old Dante Anderson of Rutland City and his mom, Sherilyn, is that?
Yeah, Sherilyn.
Okay, Sherilyn.
Sherilyn.
Sherilyn. Okay, let me write that down or I'll mispronounce it again. There, okay. And so welcome in, and I want you to tell us why you're here, where you're going, and how you got into this whole karate thing.
All right.
If you can.
Okay. So basically, I'm going to the World Championships for Karate in Malta 2026. It's basically just like a ton of tournaments that you do down there, and you just compete and try and win and stuff. So basically, I got into karate when I was like 5 or 6, and what I was doing was just Vermont Martial Arts, which is the local martial arts place down here in Rutland, Vermont.
Yeah.
And I learned a ton of things there for like 6 years, and then I switched over to a place called the Silvas. They were mixed martial arts as well, but Vermont martial arts was mixed martial arts and traditional, like, mixed together, so it was sort of like a new thing. And then after the Silvas, I switched over to House of Samurai, which is a fully traditional dojo, and they do sport karate, which is tournaments, and they do normal karate, which you just go to classes and stuff, you don't do any tournaments. Basically, I like them because they're all traditional, and I feel like that works really well for me instead of the mixed martial arts and stuff. I feel like it's so much easier to learn their stuff and all of their material because at Vermont Martial Arts, since it was implementing like mixed martial arts and traditional, I feel like that helped me just switch and transition better to fully traditional and stuff.
Okay. So you're speaking to someone that has no idea what the differences are between karate, jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe you can help me. When I think of karate, I think of someone with a hand like this that chops.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's much more to it than that.
Yeah.
So what are the differences between the different disciplines?
So I wouldn't say they all do different things. They mostly do the same thing. You can protect yourself, self-defense, and not all. So say traditional and stuff, like there's sport karate where you do that type of stuff, or if you just want to know defense and stuff, you can also do stuff like that. So boxing is different from martial arts like karate and stuff because boxing is more of like a title sport where you just go in rings and fight and you can exercise more and stuff like that. Martial arts is more of like a art instead of like a sport. I mean, you could call it a sport, but it's more of an art because you have to do all of this stuff that's way more different from boxing. Like there's like these different things called katas and just like stuff like that. It's basically like a performance. It's kind of like a I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like not like a dance, but like
a Tai Chi.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then in boxing and stuff, you're just fighting and stuff. So it's way more different from like karate and sort of just traditional and other sort of martial arts and stuff.
So when did you get to Rutland, and how in the world did you ever get into karate at 5 years old? Were you like, did you see it on TV, or if you can't kind of explain the connection of how it happened for you?
So I was born here in Rutland, Vermont.
Okay.
And no, I was born in Middlebury, actually.
Yeah.
And we came down here, and for like the years before I did karate, it was just like a normal life. I was going to school and stuff. And then I like all the time I used to like do kicks and stuff around the house and like watch YouTube videos of people doing that type of stuff.
Okay.
And I like Karate Kid movies. Like I like Jackie Chan. So I wanted to try out karate, so we went downtown and we checked it out, and I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. And where did you go to school, Dante?
I used to go to West Rutland in elementary school, and for middle school, I'm going to Christ the King, and I used to go to RIS for the intermediate school.
Okay. We're again talking to a 13-year-old, folks, Dante Anderson, and his mom, Sherilyn, right? Okay, I got it.
Right.
And you moved to this country from Nicaragua, and then he enrolled in this program around 5 years of age. And this winter, I want people to know, this 13-year-old from Rutland City was the only Vermonter to qualify to represent the United States of America in the World Karate Do Alliance World Championships held in Malta, as Dante mentioned, in March of 2026. So it's a few months away. Mm-hmm. And when you're there, you hope to compete in the advanced category, performing a kata. I don't know what that is, but maybe you can shed some light on what's a kata. And maybe I'm mispronouncing it.
Yeah, so you could say kata or kata. But basically there's like kata, which is just, we call it open hand, and basically you're doing all of these like moves. There's this thing called, I forgot what it was called, but it's basically just a ton of self-defense moves mixed together to make this like little like show-looking thingy, and you put that on, you have to do like a ton of stuff. You gotta fix the rhythm and stuff. And it's pretty hard, but once you get it, you could just like go through it. And there's another thing called kabuto, which is weapons, and it's basically just kata but with a weapon. And there's sparring, which is just, I wouldn't say boxing, but it definitely has sort of like a boxing feel to it. It's just fighting, but it's different from boxing.
And you must have friends that do this too, or else your poor mom's just driving you all over the place.
Yeah.
I think the House of Samurai is over in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So how often do you go over there, and do you bring friends with you? How does that work?
So my mom or my dad usually drives me over there. Usually my dad, because my mom is scared of driving on the highways and stuff.
Okay.
But we go down there like twice a month. And basically we just train for a few hours. If I couldn't make a session before because it was bad weather or I was sick, we would do a thing called a doubles session, which I train for 5 hours. I do a 1 hour class before, and then I do another hour class, and then I do a few hours after in my private session and stuff like that.
Okay. So you're afraid to drive, Mom, huh?
Yes. Long distance, but I'm getting there now.
Okay.
I'm from Nicaragua. It's a very, very small town. I moved. It's going to be 15 years now. Next year, May 7th, I'm going to have 15 years living here. So driving is not, we don't drive there. It's a small little town. And in the Pacific or even the capital of the Caribbean, we have tons of buses and tons of taxis. So you basically don't drive. And it's everybody walk. You know, it reminds me of New York City. You just get on the bus or we don't have train, but you just walk everywhere. So we don't have cars and stuff like that. So moving here, it was a challenge, and then I had to learn how to drive and get my citizenship too. So that was a big accomplishment, you know.
Well,
And
congratulations on that.
thank you.
I know there's a test that you have to take to
Yeah.
get your citizenship, and then you have a ceremony and
Yes, we did.
naturalization. Yeah.
Yep, I had my whole family there. My boys were there, and
Oh,
my
that's great.
sister.
Yeah.
She's also a citizen now. She lives in Virginia. Great country. As I said before, I tell everybody and my boys every day, this is the land of opportunity, and if you work hard and you be kind and be humble and give back to your country, somebody will see you. And that's what happened to Dante. He has the opportunity to go to the World Cup. And let me, tell you guys that he is the only Vermonter ever got this opportunity in martial arts.
Yeah.
And we're just so grateful and happy and proud of him.
I was going to say, you have to be pretty darn proud.
Yes, we are.
He seems like a very intelligent, obviously well-spoken, but
you.
humble kid.
He's very, very humble. He's the kid that win his tournaments, give me his medal, and he don't touch that again. Absolutely don't touch it again. I come home and fix them up. We're running out of space, by the way. We're running out of space, but I put them on his shelf, and he don't even talk about it again. He will tell one or two friends, online, like, hey, I won the tournament. Or they would call him up the day before and say, hey, good luck. And then he would say, yes, I won. Nobody knows. Like, he started at Christ the King, and his teacher, the principal, nobody knew that he do martial arts.
Oh.
And so, of course, I'm his mom. I'm going to be bragging all over town. So I let them know, and they were in shock to know that, he does this and things. So, yeah, we're just so grateful for, the opportunity this country have gave us. Like, from the day one I came to this country, arms were wide open. And the people of Vermont there's no other place like Vermont. We love it here.
Well, it's awful nice to hear that. Oftentimes we, unfortunately, hear the opposite from folks who are not as blessed and don't work as hard. And, well, I'm not going to get into the politics of things here. And I wouldn't have known about Dante except for the police chief, Brian Kilcullen, who was in the studio with us today, and said, hey, you should talk to this kid. He's 13 years old, and he's the only Vermonter that's going to represent the United States of America in this tournament. And going to Malta, are you all going to be able to go on that trip?
Well, that's the thing. So it's going to be, as I was telling somebody, in Nicaragua, where I was born. I'm going to say my country because I'm American now. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to I'm an American. So in Nicaragua and other Central American countries and South American countries, even other parts of the world, we have, how you have the Minister of Health here.
Mm-hmm.
We have all of that. But we also have the Minister of Sport. So the country help with that. Here everything is private, so we have to do it on our own. So, of course, I have some extra miles on my shoes already, working extra hard and things to come up with the money. So it would be me and him. It's going to be over $3,000 for him, because for every match, we have to pay for that. And it could be up to $35 to $40. It all depends on what they put. We don't know. So the House of Samurai gave us a list of stuff that he's going to be needing. The good thing about it is, like the hotel, there's 2 meals that add into the room.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good news and thing, but all the other rest of stuff, we're going to have to be paying for that.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you enjoying going to Christ the King, Dante? Tell us about what do you do at school all day?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I feel like it's a way better switch than my old school.
Okay.
I just like this a lot more, especially because I get to learn more about the religion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of friends there. I love hanging out with them, and I wouldn't give them up for the world. I just like the place a lot. We do tons of activities, just tons of stuff. I love the sports there. There's soccer and stuff. The gym classes are fun. The education is nice. Just everything about it I really like.
Okay. And for those of us that have been in the area for a long time, at one time they had a hockey team.
Yeah.
That may not be something that you would be attracted to normally because you do have to learn how to skate. And they had football. And unfortunately, those days of the Rutland MSJ football games are a thing of the past, but literally, and Rutland in those days was about 20,000 people, and a quarter of the city, 5,000 people used to go to that game every year. And when it was at St. Peter's, it was extra special. And anyway, I thought I'd mention that.
Right.
So you're going to go to Malta. How long a trip? Do you have any idea how long it's going to take to get to Malta?
We're probably flying out from like Boston or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So we might we're going to probably fly out from Boston or something like that and go to like a different country and then fly out from there. I'm not sure how much hours though.
Yep. And then what about looking ahead? You're 13 years old. You're going to a world tournament. What's the next steps for you in terms of this karate?
I just want to get better, especially like when you keep going, you'll definitely see the progress. I feel a lot better with myself now that I'm growing and stuff like that. And I'm actually starting to get noticed and more stuff like that. Something I really want to achieve is just to make people proud because, giving up, I don't like giving up. And, like, if I give up, all of this will be for, like, nothing. So if I give up now, then I won't be proud of myself.
So at the time when you turn 18, you could probably begin to make some money at this, do you think?
Yeah, so there's these things. I think one of my friends do it. His name is Jaden. He's really good at karate. He does the same dojo with me because he's the son's sensei. And basically, he trains all the time, and he goes to the World Championships. And he's in the pre-Olympics, so he's that good. So he's 17 and he trains to go to the pre-Olympics. You could get paid for stuff like that. So he's getting paid money. I'm not sure how much, but if you could keep going, you could get like that much.
Well, it might be enough to help
Sponsor
out.
his own stuff. Yeah. I told him that we are not a quitter. And what I pay for the year for him, it's a house in Central America. It's a house for one of his cousins or the neighbors or even myself when I retire. So if he quit, which he has he has about, I think, almost
$25,000.
No. Over $30,000 already we have invested in him. So he cannot quit. And he's not only making Vermont, but the U.S. Proud. He's also making Nicaragua proud too, and my family is just extremely, extremely proud of him. And we're very, very known. My parents are very known. They're big on charity back home, so everybody was calling them up. Their phone was, just blowing up, and they wanted interviews. So he was also on every website and newspaper in Nicaragua. So my whole country is proud of him to see where a little town, Pearl Lagoon, is a very, very little town. And I moved here, and a little boy from Vermont get the opportunity to go to the World Cup. That is huge. That is like one of the biggest accomplishments, and we're extremely proud of him.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you came 15 years ago to the United States of America. You're now a citizen.
Yeah.
You've been naturalized. What do you do for work?
I work as an aide at Bayada. I always say if there's anybody to do that job, it has to be me. And I always say to, yes, I help out, but I think that job saved my life too. It was just, we were going through a lot of stuff, and just taking care of somebody, and they'll look at you and say, thank you so much. And, I can't do it without you, or you're my best friend. Oh, I can't wait for Monday to come. The weekend is so long. And the simple fact that they could call me up and don't call their family and say, Charlene, I don't have any milk. Do you mind? Sure, I'm coming. Do you have any leftover food, or do you have any, I love to make soup. So do you have any soup? Yes, I do. I'm coming. they become family. And that's why I always say Vermont is a great place, great people. And we wouldn't change it for no other place. We love Vermont. It's been so good to us, this country in general.
Yeah. We need to take our final break here on Catamount Community Connection. We're talking with 13-year-old Dante Anderson and his mom, Sherilyn. And he is headed to Malta next March for the World Championships. He's the only Vermonter that will be there representing the United States of America. And we'll have another maybe 5 or 6 minutes to chat with him more when we come back here on Catamount Community Connection. Welcome back to Catamount Community Connection. I'm your host, Brian Collamore. Each and every week for an hour, we talk with folks from all over the area. And our show brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. And fair number 179 is coming up 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday. Get your tickets for all the acts at ParamountVT.org. Today, on the second half of the show, we are thrilled to be speaking with Dante Anderson, who's a 13-year-old from Rutland City, goes to Christ the King, and his mom, Sherilyn. And he is headed as the only Vermonter to represent the United States of America in the Karate Do Alliance World Championships held in Malta in March of 2026. And we've talked a lot about how he got into it, and the sort of discipline that it takes to be very good at this, and a very well-spoken young lad. I got to ask you, Dante, at some point, you'll go to Christ the King. I don't know where you're planning on going to high school. Maybe MSJ, maybe Rutland High, I don't know. But at some point, maybe down the road, there's college or a university in your plans. And Mom has mentioned that this is not an inexpensive attempt to get better all the time. It does cost money. But I got to think that there are teams at the university level that would make it a lot easier by providing a lot more training and stuff. Are you starting to look that far ahead, or is that still not kind of on your radar?
I don't know. There's not. I don't know any colleges that have any sort of like martial arts team. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Maybe they probably have a boxing team or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I know that I'm probably going to go to MSJ, but we might move, so I'm not sure where other colleges are and when we're going to move to. So I'm probably going to look at somewhere like closer, like UVM or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know any places with any like martial arts teams.
Do you have any idea how special you are? I mean, it's obvious to me, and I think it's obvious to the Rutland City Police Chief, Brian Kilcullen, but I mean, we don't get to meet folks like you all the time that are just so focused on one thing and polite and disciplined, and I want you to know that. I want you to know that you're very, very special, and that's probably why you're headed to Malta in March.
Thank you.
Now, Mom, you made, when we took our break, and I wish I'd had the tape rolling, a great statement about the community here. You were brought up in Nicaragua, moved here 15 years ago to the United States of America. You became a citizen, and you are working at Beata. And then you talked a lot about, and you could be in the Rutland Chamber of Commerce the way you were talking, because
I should be.
Yeah, you're so positive about the area.
Yeah.
And that, again, is not sometimes what we hear all the times. I know the chief, because of what he does for a job, he gets to hear that sometimes, but he also has to deal with the other side of that, the sort of the bad behavior that occasionally happens. But you are just so positive.
Yeah.
How did you get so positive about Rutland?
Well, first of all, you have to be grateful. And a lot of times, me personally, the American people are very ungrateful. You live in a country where you have freedom of speech. You could say whatever you want. You're not going to get arrested or gunned down. Where I come from, you do not have speed. You can't talk and how you feel. Because something is going to happen to you.
Really?
All right, exactly. Coming from a place where you have nothing, but you're so grateful every day to the Lord to get up and could give your children something to eat or give the neighbors something to eat. United States is one of the greatest countries. It is the greatest country in the world. All right? Here we come as immigrants and we can dream. Before we even come to the U.S., we are dreaming. And when we come here, we make that come true. We may not get the house that we want, but our children get to go to college, get to provide a good life for themselves. And as an immigrant, and every other person that I speak to, you know, that is from different countries, when we stepped into our house, our 2-bedroom apartment or 1-bedroom apartment, the only thing we want to see on that wall is diplomas from our kids. College is the most important thing, because I always tell my boys, if you have an education, nobody can take that away from you. Absolutely nobody can take that away from you. But you have to work hard. You mentioned about his discipline. I'm very, extremely old school. My kids call me Judge Judy, and I'm proud of it. I'm so proud of it, because we live by rules and code, and we don't break them. You break them, there are consequences. You know, I was raised that way. So my boys are very, very, very straight, because as my oldest, I have a 17-year-old, he's Dominic Anderson. He goes to MSJ, and he's also an amazing artist. He wants to go to school for engineering, graphic design.
Okay.
You know, he also got a scholarship for $96,000 for the Rochester of Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just so proud of him, because I told him, you came to this country not to sit on your behind, give the government hell, and wait for somebody to hand something down to you. You came to this country to work your behind off, make me proud, make yourself proud, give back to it. When the national anthem is singing, you stand strong, put your hand on your heart, and be proud of this country. The day somebody tell me that you are kneeling down because the national anthem is singing, because you protesting because you're spoiled, you don't want to know me. You don't want to know me. And my kids know that we don't accept anything from anybody. You have to work for it. And not because you are brown, you expect that somebody has to give you something. No. You work hard for it. So when they call Dante Anderson, it's because you work your behind off for it. You know? Yeah.
I do know. And you're a breath of fresh air as far as I'm concerned. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've run out of time. But again, I want you both to know you should be proud, because you have, and I'm sure if I met Dominic, I would feel the same way about. I hope he's not jealous of your success, Dante. But again, you should be proud of him, and I really like the way you carry yourself and speak, and you've done a heck of a job. Can I just say one more thing?
Sure. To all the parents out there, I want you to listen to me. Your child can go somewhere, but you have to be behind him. You have to be the biggest support they have. I am the loudest in the crowd supporting my boys. And for the leaders out there, the mayor, the senators, all of you guys, if we don't invest in our children here in Rutland, we are going to have a dying society. We as grown people, we have to put our love and our support. We have dying kids walking around, don't know where they're going, what they want to do. And we as leaders, we have to help them. So karate can take you somewhere. Any sport can take you somewhere. But we need the help of the parents and the support of the leaders. And that's the reason why we voted for you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you both for coming on. And It's been a pleasure. We'll see all of you listening next week here on Catamount Community Connection.